Hi, this is Greg Sherinian from gregsherinian.com. My topic today is gratitude. So I'm going to start off with some quotes as I usually do. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Then make that day count. Steve Maraboli. Acknowledging the good that you already have in your life is the foundation for all abundance. Eckhart Tolle. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. Cicero. When a person doesn't have gratitude, something is missing in his or her humanity. A person can almost be defined by his or her attitude to gratitude. Elie Wiesel. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. John F. Kennedy. Gratitude is the healthiest of all human emotions. The more you express gratitude for what you have, the more likely you will have even more to express gratitude for. That's Zig Ziglar. Okay, so the Pilgrims, we're going to go way back here. The Pilgrims had very little to eat in their first year at Plymouth. There was a scourge of sickness and death, actually, that first year. In the fall of 1621, the Pilgrims gave thanks to God for sparing the lives of those who had not died in the first winter. They were grateful that he had brought them to this new land and gave them a bountiful harvest. So they had a lot of difficulties, but they still expressed gratitude. So what are some of the benefits of gratitude? Okay, scientists found that building gratitude enhanced long-term happiness by more than 10%. They found that those who practice gratitude not only had a higher level of positive self-esteem, and there's been several studies on this, they also had a higher satisfaction with their lives. So by focusing on what we're grateful for, we can feel more contentment and happiness in our lives. So you might not realize this, but gratitude makes you more likely to exercise. There were studies done on 96 Americans, and those who kept a gratitude journal exercised 40 minutes more per week. Now, if you're not the type who wants to exercise, gratitude can also lower your blood pressure. It helps you sleep better. You get increased energy. That's obviously because you're in a more positive mindset, right? So when you're in a negative mindset, you're going to have less energy. You're more patient, and you have better relationships. Obviously, if you're expressing gratitude, you're not going to take your partner for granted, right? So your relationships are a lot better off. You also focus on the positive instead of concentrating on the negative, right? You have a stronger immune system because you're being positive, right? So if you're negative, you tend to get sick a lot. If you're more positive and grateful and thankful, you'll have a stronger immune system. That comes from, I've looked this up as well, and there's been studies that show that. You're less centered on yourself, right? Because if you're grateful, you're finding all these things to be grateful for. So you're not sort of concentrated on yourself, and the whole world doesn't revolve around you. Gratitude also enhances empathy and reduces aggression. Those who practice gratitude are less likely to seek revenge. Okay, so most people today most, not all, are looking for things outside of themselves to make them happy. They're searching for happiness, right? Not realizing that they should be grateful for what they have. So if you're grateful for what you have, you're not taking anything for granted. So what I'm trying to say is, um, going back in my life several years ago, I was very depressed. I was on antidepressant medication because I was so depressed. Um, so I got off that, but I also developed a practice of gratitude, which I'll explain later. But um, so when I did that, it sort of helped with the with those negative emotions, and I wasn't as depressed. And over time, it's not an immediate thing, but over time, I started feeling a lot better. Right? It's not an instant. Oh, all right, I'll practice gratitude and tomorrow I'll be happy. No, it takes time. It took me a long time. So I also, looked for other, I'd buy things to make myself happy when I was depressed, right? I don't know if that touches base with somebody else, but when you're not happy, you look for outside sources to make yourself happy, right? You buy stuff you don't need, or you'd start hoarding up stuff, right? And that's what I did. I started buying stuff I didn't need, and things like that. And it's sort of, you just need to get more and more and more, right? It doesn't help the situation, and you have to spend more money to make yourself happy. So it's not a good solution. I know because I've been there, so I can tell you my experience, right? And gratitude was one of the things that really helped me get out of the depression. So what are some things that you can do to start a gratitude practice? For myself, I have a gratitude journal. I'm going to show you. Actually, there, gratitude journal. Okay, if you look at it, it's uh, it's full, right? The whole thing's full, and I have another one, and this one's 3/4 full, right? Uh, so I have made that practice. Now, what I do is I find 10 things to be grateful for every day. So before I go to bed, I'll write down 10 things that happened in the day that I'm grateful for. So I'll start with the base, right? I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful for my daughter Kaylee. I'm grateful for my daughter Michaela. And these things are constant. Every day I'll write that. But then I'll add stuff, right? I'm grateful that I have my eyesight. I'm grateful I have a bed to lie in. I'm grateful I have filtered water, right? And I'll try to switch it up to find something new every day, or something that happened, right? Somebody did something for me, or something great happened, or something in nature caught my eye, right? Anything. And I'll just express gratitude. And it's funny because the more you start doing that, the more you start noticing things to be grateful for. So if you do that, you're gonna notice that there's a lot of things that you can be grateful for. And that's what I noticed with myself. Now, you don't have to write 10 things every day. I do it. I even have an entry in here when I went to the hospital for my knee surgery, and I wrote, I was grateful for my knee surgery the day of right after the surgery. But you don't have to do 2 things. You can do 3 things, and you can say, I'm grateful for my spouse, and then say why you're grateful, right? And do 3 things like that. Or I'm grateful for my house, and why you're grateful for your house. So you could do that instead of doing 10 things. There's various ways of doing it. I wish I had learned about it earlier so I could have introduced my kids to it, because it's a really good thing for kids to get into, I think, because they'll start being gratitude, and they'll be more grateful, and they'll be happier. So with the kids, what you could do is have a collage. You can make them do a collage or something, or get them to do gratitude drawings, or even on the calendar draw a little gratitude thing, right? And get them in that practice. There's also other ways of doing it. You could text somebody and, say how grateful you are for something they did for you, or so how grateful you are that they inspired you. You could even go so far as to do that for an author of a book who really inspired you, and send some kind of note to them, or tweet or something like that, right? You could call somebody and, just say, I'd like to thank you for what you've done for me. That's another way. You could write a song if you have that kind of talent. Write a song about gratitude. And I just looked just prior to starting this. There's all kinds of songs about gratitude and being thankful. So you could play those during the day, right? You could play songs for gratitude to get you in that state, right? That positive state, and do that. And I'm gonna put a song in the comments. I think I don't know if I can do it now. I could try. I'll put it in the comments after I'm done, because I don't know if I go searching around if I lose the feed. So I do have a song here that I found, and I'm just gonna play it to end off with. Okay, so there's a song I'm gonna put in the comments later. So hopefully you can hear that. Here it is here. Because I didn't know any other way of doing it, so I'll just add it to the comments. So I'd like to thank everybody who joined. That's awesome. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your comments and likes, and I can't really see right now because I lost part of this. But thank you very much for joining, and I hope you got some benefit out of this, and I hope it helps you. So have an awesome day. Take care.